In this video, we're going to look at creating the visor and these cutouts here for the venting. So let's get started. So if you remember, we had these different pieces here for the visor. Now what I'm going to do here is let's turn off this body and only have the visor, and let's turn this off for right now. We actually want to scale this up a little bit so that it sits appropriately, or better yet, why don't we just add thickness to this and let's see what happens. So we can see where the visor's sitting right now, right? And it needs to come up over this lip. So let's come into modify and under create and thicken. And let's make this right about 0.12. So we can see that it's adding thickness there, like so. That looks better. Now what we can do is let's clean this up a little bit so that when it meets the helmet, we see a nice line that breaks apart the area of where the visor is and where the helmet is. Now the visor might run into this top piece just a little bit, and all we really need to do is just let's just move it out a touch. So let's go move. Let's move that out like right about there. That should help. Okay. So let's turn this off. We're going to grab that edge, say fillet, 0.12. Looks good. Let's do the same thing again on the back edge. Fillet. Now these fillets may be just a tad too big. So how do we adjust those? We can come down and let's make it half that for both of them. So now if I come down here, I can edit that. So right mouse button, edit, 0.06. Yeah, that looks better. And then this one here, let's edit that one. We're going to re-grab that edge and make that 0.06. Now, it just gave me an error that it did not like that fillet size. Let's try 0.03. There we go. So we get a nice look to our helmet here. All right. Well, this is getting kind of hard to see, so let's add a little bit of color into our scene here. Let's take the canvases and turn those off, and we can see our helmet. I'm going to right mouse button and say appearance. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the appearance on the outside of our helmet. So if I scroll down here, we can go to paint, we can go to glossy. I'm going to drag and drop this onto this helmet. And you'll notice right here, if I double click on this, now I can change the color. We can brighten that up a little bit. Done. So I double clicked on that. While we're in here, let's get a different smooth glass. See if we can find a smoked glass. Let's see how bronze looks. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and close that. And let's move on and create the areas, the objects that will cut out our vents. So let's turn the canvases back on. We're going to go to a front view. Actually going to go into the sculpted environment again. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a cylinder in this view. So I'm just going to make it, let's make it 2, let's try 3. Yeah, 3 inches in diameter. 3, enter. All right, hit OK. We're going to edit this form now. I'm going to say body. Let's move this outside of our helmet. I'm going to say OK. We're going to go to edit form. And what we're going to do is grab these verts, holding the shift key, grab these. Now, it didn't grab everything. So let's Control Z, undo that. Under select, selection filters, you'll see select through. Now, what that's going to do is it's going to allow me to select all the points all the way through my object. So now when I do that, there we go. We get something like this. So let's take these here and let's push those out. Let's take the whole thing and let's scale it in. Scale it in a little more. You can see what we're getting here. We're going to say OK. We're going to finish this. Now, this is just an open environment right now. And what we want to do, or an open object, what we want to do is change to the patch workspace. We're going to say patch this. Right mouse button, repeat this. Say OK. I'm going to stitch that so that becomes a single body. Because what we're going to do now is we're going to move this into position. So move, slide it over. We're going to rotate it and slide it in like so. So let's see how things look here. You can slide it to the right. We may be still a little on the large side, but that's easy enough for us to fix. So with that body selected, go back to model, modify, scale. We're just going to scale this in. That looks better. And again, move. And we got to make sure that cuts all the way through our helmet. Okay, let's look and see where we're at. All right, now I want to get one exactly on the other side. So we're going to go to mirror, this body, this plane, there we go. Now, there we go. Now we can come in here, modify, combine. operation is going to be cut. We don't want to keep the tools. Our target body is going to be this. Our tool bodies are going to be this, like so. Then we can come in here like this and add a fillet to both of these. There we go. And say OK. And you can see our helmets coming along. In the next video, we're going to work on making a hole through the helmet and the visor, and then adding an assembly joint so that we can actually rotate our visor.